Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Continuously Refined. I'm Shayna.
And I'm Sicily. And today is an exciting episode because I feel like this is kind of why we created the podcast that we talk all the time about. We created it because we have these conversations all the time, the two of us, and we were like, why would we not just record them? And not that we've been fake towards you guys, but we definitely like put a lot of research or different things in before having a lot of these conversations. And this one we wanted to do where I'm genuinely telling Shayna about something and she hasn't heard about my experience at all yet. She keeps asking about it and I'm like, no, I want to record it on the podcast.
Cicely has been major gatekeeping her appointments from me, and it's been
Yes.
like 2 weeks. You've been to
Hmm.
two sessions,
Yep.
and I know about them. And I'm like, oh my God, what did they say? What did the doctor say? How was it? Are you having
Hmm.
like, what are you experiencing? Da, da, da. So today we are just having a real conversation, and I'm excited to hear and ask Cicely questions all about her experience at acupuncture. And we've done
Yes.
an episode about acupuncture, and I've talked about it from my side, regulating hormones, calming my body and nervous system. And so now Cicely has started to go.
Yeah. So I got to a point recently where I was like, things are still not where like I want them to be. Like my stomach's still not great, my hormones still aren't regulated, and I'm doing literally at this point in my life everything I can be. Like in college, there were always excuses of like, oh, I'm not taking my supplements, oh, I'm drinking a lot, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Now it's like, okay, well, I'm doing everything. I'm going to yoga, I'm weightlifting, I'm taking my supplements, I'm eating the way I'm supposed to. I'm not stressed, so I'm like working on my nervous system, like all these things. And so I was literally like feeling like, okay, what can I do that's like this next thing? And Shayna is the reason that I started going to acupuncture because it worked so well for you. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to try it. And so I started researching doctors around here. And I found one that I liked that like accepted my insurance. Great. They had an appointment, I think, for like the next day from when I booked it. And I knew that I had an appointment. I think it's technically this Friday. I still need to cancel it, but this Friday booked with my functional medicine doctor. And I was like, I want to get acupuncture going before I go to see him because if I can avoid seeing him, I'm going to. And I can kind of explain that'll come up more like when I'm explaining stuff. But I was like, I just want to try something new and I want to see like if this works. So yeah, I went today to my fourth appointment. In the last like 2 weeks, I went like 2 Wednesdays ago for the first time. And I literally think that like this is going to be such a game changer for me. Like I hope it continues to be, but so far I'm very
Good.
excited about it.
I swear by acupuncture, it is such a catalyst effect when you're already supplying your body with the things it needs. Acupuncture just takes it to that next level because
Yeah.
your whole body can go into like a regulated, calmed state. And it is incredible what these Chinese medicine doctors can do. So you've gone,
Mhm.
did the acupuncturist say to go like twice a week?
Yeah. So he was like, I want to tackle it like very aggressive at the beginning. And so come twice a week. And then he wanted twice a week for 3 weeks. So this is week two, technically. And then I'll go twice a week again next week. And then we'll just reevaluate from there and see how things are working. I have a
So
feeling
when
it might
you
go more than
Yeah,
that, but
more.
okay.
So when you walked into his office and you told him everything about you, what did he
Yeah.
want to focus on?
Oh, so many things. So they like give you the form, right, to fill out. And it was like, what's your number one symptom? What's your number two symptom? Like, whatever. And I'm like, obviously, like, I've done all the research on a lot of this. Like, I know these things. And so I'm like, well, I know that it's all tied together. So it's not like I'm like, I mean, yes, I'm going in with like, yeah, my stomach's a symptom, my anxiety is a symptom, like these things. But I'm like, they're all connected. And like, I know that. And so I walked in and like met him and he was like, we sat down and he was like, okay, so tell me in your own words, like, give me your story. Like, he was like, I read through your stuff. It seems like you've been through a lot. Like, give it to me. Like, tell me your story, which was super cool because I was like, I love that it wasn't just like, okay, so I read what you have. Like, this is what I think we should do. Like, he genuinely wanted to hear me out about it. And I was like, I know that it all ties back to regulating my nervous system. Like it definitely all ties back to that. And the more I'm describing things, he was like, I mean, yeah, you're right. That's 100% what it all ties back to. And so he was like, I want to do everything to target that. And he was explaining like how everything was connected. And
Yeah.
I do wish that I like almost recorded like my first meeting with him because
Mm,
I just has so many like little bits of like knowledge and wisdom that are Chinese medicine backed, but also just like that just makes sense. Like he was asking me like how my sleep is, because obviously like that's a big factor. And then when I was like, oh, I wake up from like 3 to 5, I know that's due to like blood sugar and cortisol, and so like that ties into it. And he was mentioning like the vagus nerve and pressure from like behind the ears down, and I'm like, right, like I know I feel that. Um, he was like also talking about that fight or flight mode that like we talk about
hmm
all the time. And I was like, I know that my body is stuck in that. And he brought up this, like, we've all heard the analogy of the running away from a bear. Like, we feel like we're being chased by a bear.
Yeah.
I say it all the time because I'm like, oh, like texting, like getting a text feels the same as like being chased by a bear to me. Like, that just triggers my anxiety. And he brought up, he was like, our bodies, like, and so many people's bodies live in this fight or flight mode. And
hmm
like, we were designed to feel that because we were designed to have a natural instinct when a bear is running to us in
Yeah.
like colonial times, like to run away from it, which like makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
But
Way
now,
back.
yes,
Yes.
now we react to a text or an email that way. And I was like, that's exactly how I feel. Like, I feel like I'm constantly in the state of just like, okay, I need to do the next thing. I need to like rush to the next thing. And I know mentally not to do that, but I still like feel that in like a physical way. And so we were talking about that. And then he looked at my tongue as like something.
They always look
Yes.
at your tongue. Yeah, to
Um,
see the color, the
uh-huh.
spots,
Yep.
if it's more white, more pink, more red, and then that
Mm-hmm.
signals from
Yeah. So
there the health of
he was
like pretty
like,
much your gut.
yeah, he was saying that that's the one like internal organ that we can
hmm
look at
hmm
that like we can see from an outside point of view. And so he explained like he looked at the coating of it and he was like, the coating of your tongue looks great, which is good because that means that like the food that I'm eating is right for my body. And I was like, thank God, because I genuinely don't think I can cut anything else out of my diet.
You're like, I am eating the best I've
Like,
ever ate.
yes, like this is the best I can do. And then he said that the sides of my tongue were like red and rigid, which cued him into that my body was inflamed, and especially in like the upper GI region, which I never thought much about my upper GI. I always thought about like my lower GI, so like below my belly button. And he was like, your upper GI is just as inflamed and like bloated as the lower part is. And then he looked at the veins on the bottom of my tongue too. And he was like, that when they're expanded, that shows me that there's imbalances like within some of your organs. I was like, okay, great. Further, just like confirming, you know, that like confirmation that like, okay, I'm not crazy. Like these things are
These
like,
are true.
yes, like messed up in my body in some way. So that was like a cool feeling.
Yeah, I
And
love it. I love
yeah,
acupuncture so much.
oh, it's so great. So I just felt like I told my parents this too, like leaving. I finally felt like things weren't my fault almost.
Mm,
Like he's explaining the connection behind everything, and I'm like, I don't feel like it's because like, oh, I am just an anxious person. I don't feel like it's because like I am not eating the right way or I'm not doing this. And I love functional medicine and I always will, but it can feel super overwhelming to go to functional medicine a lot of the time because I leave being like, okay, now I have like 10 more things I need to add to my lifestyle or that I need to do or that I need to change. Whereas this is like just being added into the lifestyle that I'm already currently living. So I really like that about it.
yeah, so that's a really good perspective.
So we did it. The whole thing was focused on like the nervous system.
Yeah,
And
calming it,
um,
regulating it, so then your body
yes,
can continue to do the processes that it's supposed to do to its full capacity.
correct. Like one of the things that like I struggle with is digestion, right? And he's like, well, it makes sense that your body would just want to push everything out of your body like the minute that you eat because you are so anxious like that your body's trying to figure out that and it's not focused on the digestion. Like it's things like
hmm
that. And it's like, correct. Makes sense. I get it.
Exactly.
Okay, now let's fix it.
Yeah.
Like, um, and so we were doing like the first, so that would have been 3 sessions.
Yeah.
We did like front of body. And so he was like, I want to do a bunch of these spots that lead to stress and lead to things, but
Mm-hmm.
they're nerves that can help the nervous system. Like they
Yeah.
lead to like helping the nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did like one on my foot, a couple around my ankle. He was like, the biggest
Yes.
points for stress are your around your ankle and your foot, and then your wrist and your forearm.
Uh-huh.
So we did some on wrist and forearm. Oh, and then around your kneecap. I did a bunch on my kneecap. And then
Oh, I didn't do those.
I did a couple in my leg. Um, and then I did four in my stomach. So
Those are the worst.
yeah, they like I like felt those for sure.
Yeah.
I did one in the large intestine, one in the small intestine, and the first time the small intestine one went in, that one was definitely a little tight. And then one above and one below my belly button.
Yes. And for
And
people who
then
don't know or have not been to acupuncture, it is not puncturing in super deep into the skin to where
sure.
blood should come up. It is
Mhm.
very, very finely just poking right into the skin to hit the nerve. So it really doesn't hurt, but when we're talking about this kind of, it's almost like a pressure,
Yeah, it's
right?
just
Once
like
you explain it,
tense.
it's
Yeah.
very tense, it's pressure, and
Yep.
depending on where they do it, it hits a little bit sharper, but it
Yeah.
does not go in deep. They're very, very tiny needles.
Yeah, because you're hitting a nerve. I wrote down like the definition of acupuncture is like it stimulates sensory nerves. And so when you're putting a needle into a nerve, it can kind of twitch or like give you a response back because like your nerves are supposed to send responses to your brain. Like, that is the point of them. And so yeah, there's some that just felt tight and you can tell then where, and he even said he was like, oh, the small intestine is tight. Like you can tell then there's some blockage there. Um, and then so we did the wrist and forearm ones, and we also did ones in my ear. We did three in each ear.
That's a lot.
Those were tight. Yeah. He was like, I normally do these for people with like trauma and PTSD, but my body almost lives in a state of trauma, so it makes sense to do it in there. And then we did one on my forehead,
Huh?
which was super interesting because he said, so the second time I went, he was like, you're supposed to nap during it, right? Because like the more
Yes.
that you
Fall asleep.
relax, yep, the better that it is that like it works for your body.
Hmm.
And the first time I went, did not nap because I was just like a little like stressed about it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, I'd only ever gotten acupuncture in like a little bit of my back, like for pain in high school. And so like to have it in my entire front body was like so weird. And my wrist ones would be really sore. And so I'd like by the end of it, like wouldn't be able to really move my like wrists that much. And so it was just like a stressful whatever. So I didn't sleep the first time. The second time he came back in and was like, "Oh, were you able to like sleep at all? Like your mind able to relax?" And I was like, "Yeah, actually a little bit this time." And he was like, "I can tell." And I was like, "Okay, well then I'm glad I didn't lie about it."
Huh. He
um
could, was it like 30 minutes that he put a timer on and
the
left?
first session was 30 minutes and then every time after has been 45.
Oh, that is a solid amount of time
It's a long time.
to lay in
And
a bed
like
and close your eyes.
yes, and like the front and like I always start by meditating and so that's normally how I get into like a slower like mental state, but then sometimes I just like wake up and get kind of stressed and like when I was laying on the front I could see the clock too, so like that was always just I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, I still have like time.
Hmm.
Um but the one he put in my forehead, he would put in like perpendicular
Yeah.
and then he was like when your brain as it relaxes, it'll be like sticking up. Isn't that so
No
interesting?
way.
And so when he came back that second time, he was like, I can tell because it's now like upright instead of the way I put it
Wait,
in.
that's
Isn't
fascinating.
that super interesting? But it makes like that
Yes.
nerve was able to like relax.
Relax.
Yeah.
It's
So
so cool.
it's so cool. So the first time we did 30 minutes and
Yeah.
then he came back and did like I honestly forgot about this part. He did like pressure points. And so he was like, your calves are super sore and like tight, which means that your shins are sore. And a lot of the nerves that go through your shins, like, are some of the nerves that we targeted. And he was like, so like that makes sense. Also, my feet are naturally like turned out. So when I'm laying flat, my feet like most people's are like upright, like think about like shavasana and yoga, like your feet are like upright. Mine just
Yeah.
like fall to the side. And
Okay.
like I assumed that there were so many things about my body that were just the way that they were because of previous things. So like for example with that, I was like, well, I grew up a dancer. Like I was always had to have turned out feet. So like
Hmm.
naturally my feet are just gonna like fall to the side.
Yeah.
Like walking in heels is hard for me because my feet kind of like naturally turn like the opposite way. Like I don't know, like I just assumed that these were like normal things. And again, it's the whole thing about like you don't think something is different until
No.
like you're shown otherwise, which
Yeah.
I have something else on that later. But he was like, your feet being turned out show me that your like calves and shins are really sore, but also that like there's emotion stored in your hips. And that like that's one of the reasons that they're like falling out. And
They're
as
turned
we've
out.
started to do acupuncture, like I've noticed that they're not as turned out as they were. And it's
Wow.
just
It's like
like,
releasing that tension
yes, it's so
and the
crazy to me because
stress.
I'm like, that's not something I ever thought was like a sign of like something being off in my body at all.
Yeah. But you were
Um,
storing it. Okay.
Yeah, and then so he did pressure points there, then he did pressure points on my wrist. And so he
Hmm.
would like hold where my wrist is and then down like my arm and like the end of my arm he would hold too. And he was like, there's two bones in your wrist. You should be able to like feel the opposites. Apparently mine weren't aligned. He was like, you don't even have full mobility in your wrist. Did you know that? And I was like, no,
No.
because why would I know if I had mobility in my wrist? Like, I don't know. I've never had a problem with them.
Wow.
And then we did a little bit of pressure points like on my upper back because anyone that knows me knows my upper back is
Yeah.
extremely tight. Um, yeah, so that was our first meeting, and
Okay.
then which was great.
Yeah. A lot of
In
info.
yeah, every meeting since I've definitely noticed changes and things that were
You can
happening.
tell.
Yes, like I had a moment last week where I was like I went like the entire day and like
Hmm.
ate three meals, ate normal, whatever. And I went to the gym and I was like, basically noticed that like this, like, I don't really know the best way to explain it, but my stomach hadn't gotten bigger throughout the day. Like I looked the same
It
throughout the whole
hadn't
day.
bloated.
Correct. And it was in that moment that like he kept asking, like, oh, like, do you notice like bloating, whatever? And I was always like, not really. Like, I don't really think like bloating's really that much of an issue. And it was in that moment that I was like, I think that I've just lived in a constant state
Yeah.
of being bloated that I've never realized like after a meal, I shouldn't have to sit there for a while and like feel like, oh, like when I get up, like
Yeah.
you should feel normal getting up and like
Hmm.
you should be able to look at yourself and be like, oh, no, I still look decent like
Yeah.
throughout the whole day. And so that was very eye-opening to me. And I explained
Wow.
that to him too. I was like, it's the whole thing of like, you never know something until it's then different. And you're like,
It's
oh,
changed. Yeah.
yeah. Um, so that was cool. And now I almost notice bloating more then.
Yeah, because you're like, wait, I didn't happen that one
Yeah,
time. So
right.
it's figuring out, okay, what worked when that happened,
Hmm.
and now continuing it in a mix
Yes.
of food and also
Yep.
putting in the acupuncture to
Yeah.
help
And
your body.
so after the last meeting, when I came today, he was like, how are things? And I was like, things are good, but I haven't really noticed like too much of a change since the last appointment. Like
Okay.
things haven't gotten worse, but they haven't necessarily gotten much better.
Yeah.
And so today we started and we switched to my back. Um, and so we
So you're
did
laying
like,
face down.
yes, we did like right behind like the like neck, but like pretty high up, all the way down my spine. And like I know that it's tight, but there were things that he was mentioning of even like he was like, your spine should be able to have this like S wave and
Hmm.
like yours doesn't move. And I was like, I mean, I know. Like I never
Yeah.
did anything to fix it, but like I kind of
Yeah.
know that. Like my shoulder blades like are very tight. And he was explaining he was like the right side of your body is way more tight, which is closer to like your kidneys and your liver. And so that makes sense that like GI issues might be
Yeah.
there. And then
Detoxing.
yes, and then he said same thing like the mid back region is tender. And he was like pointed out like two specific spots and he was like you can tell that right here is tender and like those nerves lead directly to your GI. And so he explained that the nerves on the back
Hmm.
are like way, you can target them way harder basically than the ones on the front to help your nervous system. And so
Oh.
the ones like all along the spine, he was like, we can do this like threading kind of like technique where you like do one here, then one here, like all down the spine. And that basically allows those nerves to send an echo to the nervous system, like directly to the nervous system nerves
Hmm.
internally to then send like signals to your brain.
The communication and
It's so
messaging throughout
cool.
our bodies is beautiful. And these
Mm,
techniques were used thousands of years ago before modern medicine
yep.
or anything internally existed. And this is how people healed. It
Hmm.
is fascinating.
Yeah, and it's like so cool. Like God designed our bodies in a certain way. Like, of course, everything works together. And like I say at every appointment that too. I'm like, I know that everything works together, but then when we're explaining this and when we're explaining it in a way of like you've always had a really sore like neck and you've always had a really
Hmm.
sore back or these issues, it makes and he's like it makes sense because of your stomach and because of these
Yeah.
things. I'm like, this is so cool to have someone like piece all of this together for me and like it reinforces like no, you're not crazy. Like these things that your body is feeling are like very normal.
Yeah.
um, so I'm super excited to see how the back ones go. I
Good.
like the back ones definitely a lot better because one, I like laying flat instead of
Yeah.
like being upright. And two, like my back is already just so sore. So I'm like, I would go to just acupuncture for that alone.
To release it. Yeah. How'd you feel
Hmm.
today?
Good. I definitely like noticed some like tension in my neck like go down. And so I'm excited to continue to see like how that continues to work. My stomach hasn't been great all day, but like yesterday and today I knew I was anxious about things, so like that
Yeah.
probably tied a lot to that. But I have noticed that like that fight or flight mode that I feel like my body lived in all the time, like I
Hmm.
feel such a difference from that.
Wow.
Like
That's
I
amazing.
definitely still have like natural anxiety about things, but I don't feel like I just feel so much more relaxed. Like I've even noticed like in silence or in times of just like not rushing through things that I'm so much more just relaxed and like I'm like this is such a cool feeling to not have to like live in that fight mode like literally all the time.
Always being stressed out and
Yes.
anxious.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
it's
like
so
just
good.
it's like that feeling of just like rushing through life all the time or just
Yeah.
like constantly being like okay, I need to figure this out, I need to do this and it's like no, you actually don't.
You're
Like
good. And
everything's
it's
fine.
so cool to see, like you said, the connection of
Yeah.
you went in and you're focusing on your nervous system and he solidified your thoughts of like, I know my
Hmm.
body is all working together. So I know if I'm stressed out and anxious, I'm gonna have stomach issues.
Yeah.
And then last week you noticed, oh my goodness, my stomach issues, my bloating is gone. I'm less
Hmm.
stressed out. And all he was doing in acupuncture was targeting your nervous system. You
Yeah.
didn't take more supplements, you didn't change what you were eating. It was all within your nervous system and calming it down. And it
Hmm.
really just shows how much the body works together. And if we are in that constant state of
Yeah.
fight or flight, freaking out, anxious, our body can't do what it was meant to do.
Hmm.
So,
And I think it shows too that like to some extent, like, yeah, you can do all the therapy and all of that, which like I do, but like your our bodies are wired a certain way. And
yeah.
because I like my body had lived in that state for so long, like that is all it
Hmm.
knows. And that is what it's going to continue to know until I show it something else. And so I think sometimes something like acupuncture or different Chinese medicine ways are so important because our bodies won't be able to get out of these things just with changing thoughts in our head. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it does take like a physical change to help those things.
100%. Did he say anything about taking herbs?
Mm-mm.
Nothing. All just strictly acupuncture.
All just acupuncture. Yeah, we really haven't talked about like lifestyle stuff at
Okay.
all. I think because like he asked me about it and I was like, this is like these are the things I do.
You already are doing it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And a
that he
lot of
like didn't think
time,
about it.
the people come into acupuncture and they use that as like their functional medicine. So they need to be like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you need to eat this way, you need to work out this way. But it's
Yes.
really, really helpful when you're already doing those things because your body is a step ahead. And
Yeah.
so in your case or in my case, we are already doing these health lifestyle things for so long that the acupuncture should work really quickly and really, really well in our cases because
Mm-hmm.
our bodies are already almost there. Whereas people who go
So
in
true.
off the bat, like not changing anything, then the acupuncturists are like, okay, you need to eat this way and you need
Mm-hmm.
to work out this way, and we're going to help with acupuncture. So I'm really excited for you. And it is
I
amazing that
know.
you are already seeing results 2 weeks in.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun to do something different too.
Yeah, it's huge. And like
Yeah.
get extra help. You're like, I'm already doing all the things that I
Correct.
can do.
Right.
give me a little aid, give me a little boost.
Yes. Yeah.
And it is incredible the things that our bodies can do naturally,
Yeah, literally.
naturally, and not
Yeah, so we'll
being,
see. I'll keep everyone updated on how that continues to go. But
it's really exciting. And
I know.
maybe we can have him on the podcast, your
Yes, he did.
acupuncturist.
He did offer. So
Yes, to
I'm like
learn
scared he's
more.
gonna listen to this. I don't think he will, but
Learn more from a scientific
I
aspect and the
said everything right.
acupuncturist. Yeah, no, you did. It made sense to me. I
You
loved
did
every
great.
minute of it and finally got to hear
I
about what's
know.
going
I
on
was
for the last
gatekeeping
2 weeks
it.
of your life. So I
It's only
love it.
Mondays and Wednesdays.
It's a good combo.
Yeah. Um, yeah, well, I hope you guys liked listening to my acupuncture journey so far. If you guys have any questions about acupuncture, leave them in the comments because if we have an acupuncture doctor on, we will ask those.
All the questions. Oh, yeah,
Yes.
and get his advice. So
Hmm.
thank you guys so much for listening. Thanks for sharing a little bit about what's going on, Cicely.
Of course. And we will talk to you guys again in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.